We'll start? Okay. Alright, welcome back everybody. Welcome back homies. You're homies because you're at home, right? And the rest of the world, in fact, for that matter. So today we are going to continue on and look at ways of persuasion, because the ultimate and final challenge is to write an essay, a persuasive essay, where we can use the higher order thinking skills that we talked about last time. So, how shall we do this today? Today we're going to have a look at how adverts or advertisements or advertisements can persuade. So there's a couple of different pronunciations that you'll hear for this word advertisements or advertisements, and you can just simply say adverts or even ads. Alright, so we're going to look at a few examples later on, but let's first see why they can persuade. So they're very clever. Advertising agencies and companies are very clever, and they use ads to appeal to a different sense. So it could be like a sense of reason, appealing to your logic. It could be duty, or it could be some kind of passion. So let's have a look at the first one. So it appeals to your sense of reason. So for example then, buy one, get one free. You've seen this in many supermarkets, and it's quite kind of attractive, and it's very reasonable for you to buy one, right? You're going to get one free. Okay, let's have a look at the other one. Appeals to your sense of duty. So this could be about your country. You know, your country needs you. This is Uncle Sam. Or it could be something that you're passionate about. So it could be something like this, football. So adverts are very emotive, evocative. They appeal to your senses of emotion. And really, they use a kind of hook. Like when you go fishing and you use a hook to catch a fish. So another example might be, buy 3 for the price of 2. So, you know, the hook is that you're saving money, but actually, aren't you spending more money if you're buying 2 instead of 1? So, they're quite powerful things, adverts. Alright, so, can you think of anything like an advert that you know of that you've seen on the internet or in a newspaper or on TV that has hooked you? And it could be something from a magazine even, or it could be a jingle of a song, something that sticks in your head. So just have a little think about that, and then you can post your answers at the end. If you can think of an advert that has attracted your attention and made you buy something, for example. Also think about why that appealed to you, and you know, what exactly was the appeal. So analysing the advert and why did it attract you. Okay, so before we start and have a look at some real life examples, let's have a look at 3 reasons why persuasion works. So the first one is at the top. You can see at the top is credibility. So we're talking about this one, credibility. So that really is something like trustworthiness or reputation. So really that goes on the character of a person or the credibility of a company. You know, what is their reputation? The second one we look at is emotion. And this is all about how you feel when you see something, an advert, or how you feel when you hear something, or how you feel when you read something. And then the final one of the three is logic. So this applies to your reasoning skills, or gives you facts and figures, that type of thing, okay? So an example then, so these are three cornerstones which Aristotle, a famous Greek philosopher, came up with many years ago. And let's have a look at the first one then. What does it mean to be credible? So this is all about personal character, as I said. So for example, as a doctor, I can tell you this is the best choice. So when a doctor advises that you take medicine, then it's highly credible, it's highly believable. Okay, let's have a look at the next example, which is emotion. Like we already looked at, buy it now, or it will be gone forever. So buy one, get one free. Next week, it might not be the same. So there's that feeling of loss, that feeling of sadness if you don't get it. And then finally we have logic, which is really to do with your reasoning skills and how logical you think about facts and figures. And we have another statement there, 60 million people can't be wrong, so it must be right what everybody is doing. Alright, so these are like three ways that advertising can be used to persuade. So let's have a look again. We have ethos, which is the credibility. We have pathos, which is about emotions. And we have logos, which is all about reasoning, or the logical side of reasoning, facts and figures, that type of thing. Okay. So have another little think about how would you persuade someone to do something or not to do something. It could be one of the following. So, you know, how could you persuade your mum to lend you 1,000 baht, for example? What skills would you use to make her think the same way as you? How could you persuade her? All right, so maybe you can tell me that later on. So, in the following examples, then we're going to see some adverts or some pictures of adverts from magazines. It's quite an old magazine. So they're quite old adverts from magazines. So you have to decide which one is it most. So you could get an advert where there's a mix of two, but you have to decide which one is which is it the most? Is it credibility? Is it emotion? Or is it logic that is being used? Alright, so we'll look at some... Ouch. Not that one. Oh, wait a minute, where's it gone? Oh. Something's happened. Wait, I can't see the adverts. Hold on, let me just flick through and see if I can find them. Ah, okay. Alright, so for the first one then we have this one. So what do you think is being used the most in this example of the advert in the magazine? So, is it credibility? Is it logic? Or is it emotion? So, feel free to type away and wait for one or two answers to arrive. comments? Student comment. Is that right?
Student comment. Okay.
All right, we'll carry on. So we're having a few technical difficulties. So if you guessed logic, i.e. facts and figures, then you would be right for this particular one. It's also a little bit emotional, but it's mainly the striking thing would be how many people. So that would be down to the logic, facts and figures. All right, let's have a look at another one. So this time it's a picture of an advert for Lego. So kids shouldn't watch too much TV. Have a guess. I can't see your comments unfortunately, so you just have to shout out at your computer screen. Is this one credibility? Is it emotion? Is it logic? What is it the most of out of those three? And you should have come up with emotion. Right? It's an emotional thing. It's trying to persuade parents that kids shouldn't be watching TV later on where there are images of bad things and should be playing Lego instead. All right, next one. So this one, some things can't be covered, fighting women's abuse together. Okay, so this is an example of what? Of them using what? Is it credibility, emotion, or logic? Again, this one would be emotion, right? You're sympathizing with the plight of somebody who is being abused or something like that, right? So it's sympathy. So that will be an emotional response to the advert. Okay, let's have another look at this one. This is a very old one, as you can see. It's a doctor smoking cigarettes, and the advert says that more doctors smoke a particular brand than other cigarettes. So, which one is it again? Is it credibility, emotion, or logic? Shout it out. So you should have credibility for this one. That's the biggest draw that they're using for this advert. Next one is an advert from BMW. So again, is it credibility, emotion, or logic? Spare parts for humans are not as original as those for cars. Don't drink and drive. So this guy's obviously had an accident or been the victim of an accident. Okay, shout it out on your screen now. And you should have come up with something like emotion, but this could also be a mix of credibility, right? Which one is it the most of, out of emotion and credibility? I would say emotion. Okay, next advert. This guy keeps on appearing. So this is an actual advert. And which one is this? Is it credibility, emotion, or logic? Well, we can say that this one is down to credibility, right? We have a credible person who is advertising or promoting stakes. Alrighty, next one. Okay, finally, this is about driving at particular speeds. So we have, in England, it's done in miles per hour. So that's what you can see there, mph, is miles per hour. So that's about, testing my maths now, I think about 40 miles per hour is about 60 kmh. kilometers per hour. So there's a 70% chance that they'll die if you drive at 40 miles per hour and hit someone, or at 30% there's an 80% chance that they'll live if you hit somebody driving at 30 miles per hour. So this one is obviously facts and figures, so we can say that it's appealing to your logical side. Alright, so that's basically it. So have a little think about this one. I can't see your answers, unfortunately, so we can't really do that. But let me know some other time. So, just have a little think about how you would, for example, persuade your mum to give you 1,000 baht. Or number 2, persuade teachers that the students should get paid for good grades. Why not? Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Or even number 4, persuade your friends that aliens exist. So, how could you go about persuading people? With facts and figures, or using emotions, or using credibilities, credible ideas and facts and figures. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, so, all of these you will be using in your final assignment, which is to write a persuasive essay. So this is the kind of organisation that you need, or structure that you need to the essay. There are 5 paragraphs, and we have the following checklist. So number 1 would be the opening statement, which is the hook. Okay, that's to get people interested in, right? You're trying to get them interested in the idea that you are talking about. The second one is the argument. This is your opinion. And look on the internet, have a look on the internet and research the internet for evidence, or facts and figures, or other people's opinions, or even ask your classmates what their opinion is. So you could do this in the same way as a PMI strategy. What's plus, what's the minus, what's the interesting, which you can find on Moodle. Don't forget, there's always Moodle where this information is always is also available. So we have opening statement, then we have the argument, that's your opinion. Then you have the counter-argument. The counter-argument is opposite to your opinion. So some people will agree, but some people will also disagree. What is the disagreeing argument? So that's counter-argument. Then paragraph number 4 is why, the rebuttal, why the counter-argument is wrong, in your opinion, only in your opinion. And then finally, paragraph 5 should be a short version of the argument, which is the concluding statement and the thing that lasts in your head, the thing that will be the most lasting thought. So let's have a quick look at introductory phrases that you can use for the introduction. So you have different phrases where you can say, in my opinion, I feel that, personally, all of these different ways of expressing how you feel. Then, don't forget the whole point of transition words, which we learned last week. And you can use this in the main body to agree. So we've got the agree, providing more information. You can disagree, so this is contrasting ideas. So you have things like on the other hand. Then if you're talking about sequences or over time, you can use these. And don't forget, cause and effect will also be a big factor, or one that you would use for this particular assignment. So that's the main body, and then finally we've got the conclusion. You can use these transition words to sum up or conclude your final opinion, which will be the lasting idea that you're trying to persuade people to believe. Okay, that's it, I believe. I'm sorry about not being able to see your comments. So that made it a little bit less interactive this week. But some final tips that you can use in your essay, which is to use present tense because you're talking about opinion. You can use present tense. And don't forget about subject-verb agreement. You know, I think, and then if it's she, it would be thinks. So this is subject-verb agreement, where you're making sure the verb agrees with the subject. Okay? Verb, subject. Alright, so that's using present tense because you're thinking about opinion. Also, if you're talking about general facts, then you use the present tense, present simple tense. Okay, use logical ideas. You can talk about cause and effect also, using cause and effect transition words. Use like emotive. Emotive just means like emotional language. So you can use strong adjectives and powerful verbs. Don't just say it is good because blah blah blah. So try to think about some different adjectives and different verbs that maybe you haven't used before and are new to you. Okay, so along with emotion, make sure you use facts and figures. So this would need some research. Don't just make it up in your head. You need to look on the internet and find some facts. And figures are numbers, right? You need to find numbers also if you want, or facts, definitely. Okay, use examples where it is a good illustration of your idea. So you can use sometimes case studies. That's particular cases for the argument. And then try to keep your opinions powerful and strong. And you can do this by using the verbs and strong adjectives. Okie dokie, well that's it. So if you have any questions, of course, you can come and ask me. But all of this information you can find on Moodle. So you can go there, and I will upload some new files. So for example, you have all the transition words which you've seen in this presentation. So, peace and love, and see you next time. Okay, bye-bye for now. Is that cut and cut?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. See you next time, everyone.